What's going on, guys? Today I'll be working on my ML63 AMG today, and we're going to be doing a brake fluid flush. Got all the wheels off, car's jacked up off the ground already, as you can see. It's pretty dirty right now, but the main issue now is our brake fluid is way past its due date, I believe. If we take a look at the reservoir over here, we've owned the car for about 2 years now, and I know we haven't changed it, so looks pretty dark to me, which is not what you want for brake fluid. Brake fluid kind of attracts water, and after 2 years you're really supposed to replace it because you don't want to compromise your stopping power at all with water that kind of boils over in the lines with the temperature increases. So I'm going to flush that today. I have a brake bleeder which I'll show in a moment, but you want to start out basically by taking brake fluid out of this reservoir directly. And then we'll start from the wheel further from the reservoir, which would be over here, the other rear wheel over here, and then the driver's side rear wheel after that, passenger side front, driver's side front, and that will be it. Of course, you gotta add new brake fluid. I'll be using Mercedes brake fluid right here. It's not too pricey. It's just kind of a special mixture called W164 Plus. I believe it's only Mercedes nomenclature that calls it that, but I wouldn't risk anything else. It's an AMG especially, so we'll be using this. And yeah, I'm gonna get started soon. Alright, so the cap's off the reservoir now, so I'm gonna take out whatever I can from there using this syringe over here. I got this water bottle, nothing fancy, just a regular water bottle, but I'm gonna start out, take whatever I can. Let's see what color it is. Yeah, this is definitely not the color you want for brake fluid. I'm not sure if you, yeah, there you go. That's nasty. Definitely not what you want at all. Brake fluid's more of a very clear, kind of barely yellowish color. You'll see the new one when I put it out, but brake fluid is very corrosive, so I do recommend getting some old towels and kind of putting them around to make sure you don't get brake fluid everywhere, especially on your paint. That'll destroy it. So I'm just gonna lay this down in the area so that we're all good to go. So here we got the bottle of brake fluid from the reservoir right there. Pretty nasty stuff. So right here we have my Motive power bleeder. It's basically one person bleeding, much faster, much easier, overall better. So what you basically do is you put this end onto, if it'll focus here, you put this onto the brake fluid reservoir of the car. Yeah, there it is. And you basically pressurize it. Over here, you put new fluid inside of this. I'm going to start off with 1 liter. That's all I'm going to need for now, but we can add more as we go. I'll probably put 2 eventually. So add how much brake fluid we want in here, and then you pressurize it. The new fluid will go through this, kind of force its way through the system, through the reservoir, and it'll force the old fluid out, which is kind of how you bleed it. Like I said before, I'll be using Mercedes W164 Plus. Right there, it's still sealed. You want to make sure that it hasn't been sitting for a while either, because either way, has to be pretty new. If you do purchase this Motive power bleeder, I used this on my R63 a couple months ago, or not a couple weeks ago. It does leak right here, so you should definitely put some like pipe tape or whatever this stuff is called. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure you've seen it at your hardware store. You definitely want to put this on this connection so that it will not, leak, causing little air bubbles and gaps in between. So I mean, it won't put air into your system, but it'll like be a little bit slower in terms of how you get the new fluid in. So just get that out of the way. Also, since I used this once before, there's a little bit of water in here from when I washed it out. So what I'm going to do is when I put the new fluid in, I'm going to flush out whatever the water's in here just by kind of putting it through a little bit and rinsing it into this bottle, pressurizing and whatnot. So that will be that, and then I will hook this up to the car, which I'll show you, and then pressurize it, and then we will start with this wheel right here. Alright, so now we get the power bleeder all set up. It's got fluid inside of it, as you can see. Let's move around down there. There are absolutely no air pockets in this hose, which is fantastic. It's all hooked up pretty tightly to the reservoir right there. Also, I'm wearing gloves because, like I said, brake fluid is very corrosive, so don't want that stuff on you. So yeah, wear gloves, wear goggles probably too. Yeah, so now we have it set up to almost 15 psi. It's kind of like, I'd say around 15. You can do a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on how fast the fluid comes out, how much you want to come out, how much, how fast it needs to come out for you. Kind of depends. It's kind of like play it by ear, but that's what I have right now. So now I'm going to move you guys over to that wheel area and we will start. Alright, so here we are at the rear passenger side caliper. The bleeder valve is right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'll insert a picture momentarily, or maybe a small clip, but it's right there. There's a little dust cap on it which you can kind of take off. Get both hands in there. It's all kind of grimy from all the road usage. Here's what that looks like. Yes, no. A little rubber boot. You're going to want to put it on back after you're done, so I'm just going to put it to the side for now. I believe, I can't tell what size, I think it's a 13. Let me try. So on the ML, and I believe most Mercedes at this time period, 164 Gen, this is an 09, it is an 11mm, which I have right here. I'll give you either side you want. I'm going to use this side because I think it's a little bit easier for this position. This way. Get your trusty bottle. Alright, we got to kind of finagle this little hose off of the bottle onto here. Got the hose on there. So with the hose on, you can now open up that valve. And there I see the old fluid starting to go out. Can let more go. Lots of bubbles, I'm not quite sure why that is. There might be bubbles in the hose, might have a little air gap there, that's not a big deal. Color is slowly changing. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit over there. Kind of. Alright, so that's all tightened up now, we're all good. A little bit of brake fluid kind of dropped on the floor, but no biggie. This floor is all protected, but more importantly, the main cause of that was just because there was a little bit of fluid kind of dripping out of the bleeder valve, but no big deal there. You will want to exercise more caution if you do have painted calipers, as if the fluid touches like a clear coat or some sort of powder coating, it will mess it up pretty badly how long it sits on there. So if it does happen, clean it up with water as soon as possible. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to repeat the process for the other rear, and then I'll get back to you with another front, in case it's a little bit different, so I'll see you there. This is the other side, just so you guys can get a better look. Pretty dark coming out. It was dark when I first did it. It's going straight into the bottle right here. Kind of a slow drip, that's kind of what I want. You basically just wait until it kind of gets more clear, and that's essentially all you have to do. Pretty easy to do. In fact, it's just kind of consuming, because you had to jack the car up all the way for me, because I'll be doing tire rotation as well. But depending on which car you have, you might be able to do it without taking the wheels off, but personally I wouldn't risk getting brake fluid on your wheels, so I just take it off. Easier. And I'm just going to keep this going until it's pretty much done. And that is pretty much the color of the original fluid, so pretty much good at that point. Alright, so I'm at the front passenger caliper. Pretty much the same exact story. We'll do the same thing here until it's all clear again. I did add a liter of fluid to the power bleeder, and also had to empty most of this into another bottle because it was kind of getting full. So, and yeah, just keep going with that. Same idea with the 11mm wrench. Try to spill anything, and I'll be back when I'm almost done. Alright, so now we are done. I released pressure by unscrewing the top of this lid. I kind of put whatever I needed to put inside of the reservoir. If you want to check it out, how much, what the level is. You can kind of see it is actually just above the max line, so I'm going to take a little bit out. It's kind of easier to see if you move it around. But yeah, a little bit above, so I will be taking that down a little bit with the syringe. And then all it's left to do is put it all back together and put the wheels back on and lower the car back down. But yeah, this concludes this video.